Okay, welcome. Let's see here. So I'm opening up my file. We're in part four uh, of this project, which is we're going to be merging body parts and then using Dynamesh and Z-remeshing. But the first thing we're going to do is create fingers for our hands. So let's see here. I am in my new document. I want to make sure and I go to Load Tool, Basic Body 3. And I'm going to go ahead and click and drag to add that, and then click Edit. Now I'm free to be able to sculpt it. Remember Alt and holding clicking on the background will pan, clicking and dragging on the background will spin around, Alt, and then letting go while clicking and dragging uh, will zoom in and out, and so will minus and plus. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and select the hands. And in the subtool menu here, and I'm going to click my brush and then click I for IMM, and I'm going to get the IMM primitives brush here. I want to make sure I select Insert Sphere, and I'm going to click and drag here right at the end, and I'll drag one way and then drag the other way without letting go or clicking again, and that will make it kind of long and skinny there. You see it's added on the other side. Make sure if it hasn't, I could do a Control Z. Make sure I click X. X will ensure that either turn on or off the symmetry. Okay, so I've added it. From this point here, I want to scroll down to this part that says Split, and I'm going to select Split Unmasked Points. That will create a new subtool. You see here in the subtool menu I have Hands, and then underneath it, Hands 1 that I will select. I'm going to go ahead and click here for my brush, and I'm going to go down. I'm going to click D and select my DAM standard brush. I want to make sure that I'm underneath it, so I'm going to go ahead and click this head in the top right there, and so I can see that here is my submenu. I can select Move, and I can move it. I can scale it down, move it up. I can also rotate it. Let's see here in the Okay, there I've added the finger. I'm going to go back into draw mode. I have the DAM standard brush selected, and I'm going to go ahead and make 3 lines here. This is underneath the knuckle. I'm going to click here for the brush again, and on the top I have my quick pick. I'm going to click standard, and I'm going to add a knuckle on the top. And I'm going to switch again to the move topological brush. I'm going to go ahead and make this in this shape. Finger. Okay. Again, DAM standard. Go rid of the sides here. And then the standard brush. Make a knuckle at the top. Let's see, going to top view. And I had actually made this at an angle. So I'm going to click move, I'm going to rotate it. I want to click this unlock, and then click this, let's see, unlock, move this. Top view here. And then I'll click off the lock. That's moving my pivot. Top view. There we go. This over. Click unlock again, and I'll click reset. There we go. And then lock. Okay. Back to draw. And I'm pretty happy with what I have here. I'm going to click, this is called hands one. I'm going to click rename and call it mid finger. Make sure I'm in the top view. And then I'm going to click duplicate. And then I'll click rename. I'm going to call this index finger. Enter. I'm going to move it over. I'm going to scale it down. This yellow box in the middle will scale down proportionally. This circle here to rotate it. Move it up. Okay, there I've made that. Now I'll click duplicate and rename, call this ring finger. And I'll move it over, scale it down a little bit, and bring it down right over here. Okay, and then duplicate one more time, call it rename, pinky finger. Scale it down. Okay, and then I'll make sure and have, let's see, ring, move that over. Finger, I'll select again, go to duplicate, rename, call it thumb, enter, move it over, rotate this way, rotate this way. Up a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to go into draw mode, select here for the brush, click inflate, inflate the base. And click Move Topological. Okay. And go back into Move. Let's see, I'll move this down, rotate it down a little bit this way. There we go. And then I'm going to go back and select the hands, draw mode, and move these so that it matches with it. All right. So there we have it. At this point, what I want to start doing is merging these objects. Now I'm going to Okay, so by this point we are going to start merging things together. And the thing to point out here is that we don't have to merge everything. If you have things that are different clothing items, things that are different materials, then I would recommend that you keep them separate, like a shirt, pants, shoes. Those should all be their own material and therefore their own objects that are separated. In this particular case, if we wanted this, um, like the hands should be merged with the fingers, the head should be merged with the neck. I am going to make this character just like a naked character, so I am going to merge them all together. I'll go ahead and I'll start with the head, and I'll go to merge, merge down, right here in the same subtool menu. Merge, merge down. I'll click merge down again and again. It'll tell me oftentimes this is an undoable operation, and do I want to do it anyways? I'll click OK. There's another thing there that says, OK, don't show this again while this is on. And I click that, so it doesn't give me that error. And I'm just merging these all together. Okay, so I've merged them all together. And now what I want to do, and you'll see, if I start moving things around here, we can see that even though they're merged, they're still separate, not quite all the way merged. So what we want to do is an operation here that's going to actually make them all one object. I'm going to go and I'm going to expand here geometry, and then I'm going to expand this region that says Dynamesh. And if I click Shift F, we can see what we have here. We have these different things, different objects, different topologies. That was Shift F, and it shows them. As we merge them, I'm going to set this a resolution. I'm going to put this resolution on, say, 400, enter, and I'm going to click Dynamesh, and then we'll see what it does. Okay, these are different colors, but we can see that it's merged them together. We can see these things have become interlocked at these particular areas. And then next what I want to do is I want to do a z-remesher, and that's going to make it so that, see how dense this is. This is good. It can hold all kinds of things in it, but it cannot be animated very well. And so that's what we are trying to do here, is prepare this mesh where it can be fairly low poly and animate well, and then also hold enough detail to make a map in a correct edge flow. And so what I'm looking at, what am I talking about with edge flow? I'll show you here. Here is an image. I just looked up a Google search for edge loops face. And we could see how it's created rings around the eyes, and the edges, and they're formed in the rings around the mouth and ring around the nose, and then these connecting rings that go from the corner of the nose to the corner of the mouth and around that edge. And you'll notice this is similar to the face muscle anatomy. Rings around the eyes, ring around the nose, ring around the mouth. And so that's what we're replicating here with these edge loops. And that's what we're after. So what I want to do to prep for that is I'm gonna tell it to do a Z-remesh, and it's gonna make the mesh. We want to be able to follow those areas. We did this Z-remesh before, and how it works is that it follows kind of the valleys and hills that we create here. So I'm going to click Shift F, and I'm going to go ahead and click the D for DAM standard brush. And with this DAM standard brush, oops, click the wrong thing. Click S, and I make this go down in size. And I'm going to go ahead and draw on here those edge loops. Let's see, I want to make further holes in the nostrils in the nose. I want to make right here a very clear edge. It's nice and deep. And I can even turn on my intensity here a little bit. Let's turn this up to 43. Let's go ahead and make one right here around the nose. And from the corner of the nose to the corner of the mouth. Okay, and then I'm going to go right here around the bridge of the nose and around the mouth. I'm going to do another one going here underneath the eye to the chin. I'm going to go here on the brow ridge. Let's see, go here. Now I'll go here. Cheek. There we go. I'm going to do another one here. Deeper hole here in the ear. And then I'll make another one going here around the edge of the ear. Okay. All right, I'm going to make one around here, the base of the head. I just want this very clear. Make one here kind of right around uh, there we go. put another one here around the wrist. I'm going to put one here around the all right. I'm going to go right here around the sole of the foot. Smaller. Let me just go right up the edge here. This is a thing that I'm doing. I'm making it look like I'm cutting my hand right in half. And this is important. I'm building up this edge loop, and this will make it easier for me when I UV map my character. It'll be a lot easier to lay out my UVs. With this, I want to make sure, and fingers got kind of webby. Here, there we go. Like the seam of a glove. So I'm making these very clear distinctions of these edge loops. And if I turn on, I'll do Shift F. We'll look at this topology. And watch what I do. I have my Dynamesh still on, it's still orange. And if I hold Control and if I click and drag, this is going to reformulate that Dynamesh into these splits, into these crevasses that I've created, these cracks. So I'm going to go ahead and click Control and click and drag on the background. And then we can see, well, it didn't quite do it. Let's do an undo. And I'm going to go ahead and click resolution. I'll put that on 500. And let me click off the Dynamesh. I'll click it back on. And we're seeing it starting to form there. That looks pretty good. So from here, I'm thinking I want to click Z remesher. And with Z remesher on, I have I'm going to click off half. And with my target polygons count, I'm going to put that on 11. And then I'm going to click Z remesher. Let's see what this does. Hmm. Okay, this is okay, but I think it could be better. I'm going to do a Control Z, Shift F. I'm going to turn this back off, and I'm going to click S, and I'm going to click a very, let's see, adding this very distinctive line here. Click here for standard. Just making these more raised up. So very distinctive eyelids here, almost like donuts. All right, let's try this again. I will click, I got Dynamesh, and I'll hold Control. I'll click and drag in the background. Let's see if it remeshes. Shift F. Oops, sorry. Shift F. No, escape. I don't want that. Shift F. Let me add a little bit more here. And I'm totally screwing up my sculpt, but that's okay because I'm not really. Let's go ahead and click Z remeasure. And we got it set to 11. The target polygons count. I will click right here, target polygons count. I have it set to 11, and I'll click Z remeasure. Okay, Shift F. All right. From the corner going around the mouth is okay. The eyes could use a little bit of work, but I think they'll be okay for now. I might end up in Maya. I might end up here. Let's see, damn standard. Right along here, the split. These can always be edited in Maya. And let's move this to move. Let's see, Shift F. This isn't too shabby. We can do some smoothing out here. With move, I can always turn this up. I can make a much more heroic jaw. Let's see, DAM standard. I'll sync this in. And we're going to move. Let's see, smooth this out. Smooth this out. Okay, so yeah, and same with our lips. We can smooth that. Let's see, DAM standard. And I'll switch to standard brush here. I'm going to do a little bit of Alt. Let's see. This is pretty good. And mostly move. And you can see with the remesh that even though it's not perfect, um, it's made things much easier for us to move. We can smooth out these splits that we have in the shoulders and etc. The ones that not wanting to show up, but these are going to make this is going to make things much easier to move from this point forward. Much easier to UV map, much easier to rig, etc. Good. Okay. Fix my fingers. These work. Can always do a little bit of. Oops. Okay, so all these can be fixed, but this is pretty cool. I'm happy with what I have here so far. Go ahead and smooth some of these areas, and yes. So from here, our next thing we'll get into UV mapping, and then we'll start doing some other things. So the most important thing, I'm going to Z plugin subtool master, save my Z tool. It says I have hidden polys. I'm just going to go ahead and click OK. I don't think I have anything hidden in there. I'll save it as band and basic body 4, save, and this is what I will turn in. Click replace, yes. Okay, thank you. Let me know if you have any questions.